Hey everyone, welcome back to my 2006 Range Rover Sport rebuild. Today we're finishing up the last project before we take the truck in for a salvage inspection. We need to replace the third brake light, replace our missing and cracked side mirrors, and do an oil change. And that oil change doesn't really go as planned. So let's get to it. So on this truck, the third brake light is not working, and you can actually see it's really faded and matte. So to remove it and replace it, you have to remove the whole spoiler first, and we can do that by first opening the top half of the trunk. And once that's done, there are two screws. One right here, and same thing on the other side.
Yep, that's
it. It is T40.
This is so much overkill. They are not that tight.
You have the two screws out. You can close the hatch, or the top part, and then we're going to open the whole trunk. And with that, it's 3 nuts. Here, here, and over there. I'm gonna find out. It looks like 10.
This extension is ridiculous for this size.
And as you go, you'll notice the inside of the spoiler is now loose. So make sure it stays in place, and you can lower the. You can close the trunk. Yep. And lift it up.
That up.
You get your connectors in here. The two things we need to disconnect are the electrical connector for the brake light and the rear window washer hose.
Just be gentle and wiggle it.
The hose.
Yeah, because you don't want to break this or crack your hose.
No, so it's just the hose and the tail light. Yeah.
Yep.
There's just a bundle of wires that you don't have to worry about. So the hose connects here, and the light connects here.
And then you have your light, which takes 4 screws.
Yeah, that looks like T20. What's nice is they give you a little cutout so you can reach it. It's nice that it's not a washer sprayer integrated to the taillights. That would probably cost even more money.
Like in the Jeep?
Yeah. Well, though that one was a lot, but it was
80 bucks.
Yeah, and this one was
97.
Yeah, I guess not that far
I was
off.
on Rock Auto, and it's a Dorman. But incidentally, you can't get anything but a Dorman.
Oh, okay.
Which sucks. There is none of these are available. It's all like Dorman or even cheaper versions, and I was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. Because the OE is probably way too much.
It's not available right now. Because since I was paying $100, I'm like, well, why not pay $150 and get the OE? But nope, doesn't exist.
With that done, you can hold that. This is going to be a little gunked on.
Yeah.
Was it? Just dirt.
It was just clips.
Okay, so there are clips, and you have to. So you should have slid it.
I did. I got it.
Okay.
That's how. Yeah, but it was stuck.
Yeah, there's some clips.
L320. Let's see what kind of part this is. Made in the UK. Oh wow, this might actually be the original Land Rover part.
That would make sense. I mean, you see how faded it is.
Oh, look at that.
How it split.
Yeah, and that's how. That's probably what killed it. Water got in it. Gross.
Looks nice.
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
Made in Taiwan.
Pull that through.
So just slide that in.
Pull it through from underneath.
And we just need to make sure that we press those down.
Was it recessed?
The other one wasn't, but it was quite broken.
That's true.
But also, maybe it is, maybe it's not supposed to be.
It's fine.
But this is a Dorman part, and this is the only part available anywhere.
Yeah.
And I could
it does fit, so.
Right, and I had an option. I could either pay $150 for this part, or I could pay $97 for this part.
The same one?
Yes.
Just from different places.
That's what.
Yeah.
So you could choose your own adventure, but all of them are expensive, and you get the same thing.
Yeah. I'll let you do it because it's going to cut in the plastic. It's some of these types of screws. It's not threaded.
I love nothing more than using
self-tapping screws.
Self-tapping screws on a $100 part that's really hard to get hold of.
When tightening these screws, don't overdo it so you don't strip the plastic in the light. That might be on.
There it is.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure these two are right. There was a little more.
Yeah, I probably pulled it in a bit. That was good.
More there. That one's all there.
Cool. Reconnect the brake light connector and the hose, and that can be easier to do if you have a helping hand to hold the spoiler. And make sure your cables are not getting pinched. Okay, that seems to be on. That slots in. Perfect. Alright, and looks good. Yep. Don't forget to test the light in the washer before screwing the spoiler back in case something isn't working. Yep, it worked. It's working back here. It sprayed, but the wiper didn't move. We added fixing the rear wiper to our to-do list.
So, just doing this gingerly so we don't knock our thing off.
And same as before, the 3 screws. And now we can put the last 2 bolts back in. Okay,
There we go.
that's it.
When we picked up the truck, the this mirror was just hanging off because the tabs on the back of it were broken. And although we have the mirror, we ordered a replacement. It'll just clip in.
When you connect the heating element, the connector order shouldn't matter, but try to use the same arrangement as on the mirror that came off to get a better fit in the mirror housing. So that's removed right now.
And then we have these retainers that you want to hang on those ears. These two have to slide in here. So that one's on. I heard one.
Well, that seems on.
That one's on. The bottom one is not. Ah, there it is.
Okay.
And then, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's on. Let me just look in here. Yep, they're all on.
Okay, cool. Make sure the new mirror is secure, because you don't want it to fall off while you're driving. On the driver's side, we're also replacing the glass because it is cracked here. So what you're going to do is push this out of the way, and then we can look in there at the retaining clips, and we're gonna have to try to pry it off. That way we can pry that one off and try to get the bottom one with a long pick, and that way it'll pop off. We'll disconnect the heater and then reinstall it just like on the other side. I mean, it looks like one of the tabs may already have broken off.
Oh!
You scratched the car?
Went right through the paint. So, when you're doing this, be really careful that you don't end up scratching your car. We have touch-up paint, so it's not that big of a deal, but that really makes me sad. Oh boy. Yeah, these are corroded on. I might actually need some contact cleaner too. Spraying contact cleaner just to get some of the corrosion. There we go. These have been stuck on for a long time.
If you want to wipe out in here, it's a good time to do it.
Just cleaning it up. The funny thing is, this truck was not neglected till it went to the Copart lot. Mm-hmm. Now, this is funny. Well, one, they sent us the wrong one.
What do you mean?
Left hand flat, left hand convex.
Okay.
But it is a factory part. It is the same part number. And you can see that sometimes something like Euro spares is actually the real part.
Just scratched out.
Scratched out. The only difference is that was a flat one and this is convex.
The convex is probably because it's for the UK spec. It's the passenger side mirror. After some deliberation, we ended up using the convex mirror. It gives a wider field of view, which is nice, and we haven't had any issues getting used to it. So those were the two last things we needed to take care of to be sure we would pass the inspection. Now, like every car we pick up with a questionable history, we're going to do an engine flush and change the oil. So to access the oil drain plug, there's a whole skid plate right here. Well, technically there's supposed to be one here and then on either side, but those are missing on this truck for now. So when you want to remove the panel to do an oil change, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on either side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll have to remove those. And I guess technically if you have the other skid plate, you probably have screws here, so maybe 10 total, but yeah, we'll have to see. All right, I'm gonna pull these off. These are 13 millimeter on my truck. Use hearing protection with power tools. This panel makes them super loud. Now, once you removed your skid plate under here, you can find the drain plug, and you can see this one is leaking pretty severely. Now, it was already leaking before. I actually drained it and refilled it once with some cheap oil to do an engine flush, but this is really not good. And this is actually weird because I don't know what they did, but this is, the bolt head is actually SAE instead of metric, so that's weird. And then the seal washer is one with the rubber inside, which is not standard. So that's gonna get replaced with a fresh drain bolt. But yeah, in the meantime, it just drained a bunch, so you know, that's great. Alright, so if you've watched my channel before, you've seen me use Liquid Moly Engine Flush. I'm not sponsored, but it's really good. And the way it works is just add this in to whatever oil you have in your engine, run it for 10 minutes, no load, don't drive it, just leave it 10 minutes idling, and then you drain it out, put in some fresh clean oil, and you've cleaned your engine. This time we'll also be adding Liquid Moly additive to our fresh oil. Normally we would get Liquid Moly oil, but the additive will serve the same purpose. So yeah, pretty standard process. And you'll see, you know, if you put fresh oil in like I did in this car, because it sat for 2 years, you'll notice it goes in clean, it comes out, it's quite dark after the flush. If at any point while idling during the flush you start hearing a lot of clattering or valve train noise, shut the engine off, drain it, and put fresh oil in. You want to listen for that just in case the oil thins out, because you don't want to damage your valve train. Okay, now this is going to be hot because the engine's been running 10 minutes, so this is going to be pretty hot. What you're going to do is go with your finger, and then based on how far it shot out, move this forward a bit. Get your fingers above it, and then you can just pull it out and drop it in. Damn it! Shot out way too far again! Ow, it's hot. This sucks! It's even more. No, put ah! Jesus. I'm covered in oil. Good thing I took my watch off.
Well, one thing that's nice to see is the oil is very clean.
Yeah.
This engine is extremely well maintained. This was a wonderful deal. On the other hand, we have learned something.
Everything is horrible.
We have learned something. You cannot drain oil anymore.
No.
You're just not allowed to do it.
A couple of reasons the oil shot out so far: hot oil flows easier, there's 8 quarts of it in this engine, and the oil pan on this truck is pretty deep. To avoid making a mess like me, you could try to use something to deflect the oil stream down into your catch container. So, now that you've gotten fingers because you made a huge mess, time to put the new drain plug in. This has a rubber gasket type O-ring thing that will go in, and it's actually a normal metric size. So I'm gonna get that started. These aren't the same threads.
Oh boy. Damn it.
Need a light.
Which light?
Anything to look inside and see what's going on in these threads.
I think the threads are fine. It looks like the one that's in that oil pan is bigger.
No.
Hmm?
There's the actual threads are behind it, and they are bigger. Because there's like 2 or 3 threads of the size of what we took out, and behind it there's threads that are deeper in that look to be the size of what we're trying to put in. It's like there's an insert.
Yeah, they probably did. They did a nutsert, or
Yeah, but a really small one. Yeah, there's no thread. There's the original threads are ruined. So this is the top side. You hear it?
yeah.
The bottom side. And then so there's like threads that are added in, but
So they put in a cert.
and that's why that was not the right size. That wasn't a metric size. They just put something they had. Okay, well, we'll just put.
This is why you don't take your shit to jail, because they're morons.
So now that we're not dealing with this right away because we need to go get a new seal, some new thing to seal it, let's get the oil filter out. Which this is the oil cooler. Coolant comes in, cools the oil. So I gotta get that out, but it's obviously tighter than hand tight. So hopefully, I won't get it all over myself again. Jesus Christ, did you air gun this down?
Probably.
Oh, whew. No. Stop making a mess! No! No, get away from me. Tired of being dirty. No! As it turns out, this filter's part number is an alternate option to an already cheap filter. It's likely that the place that put this cheap filter on is also the place that ruined the threads for the oil drain bolt. Hopefully, if you're watching this video, you get your oil changes done somewhere trustworthy, or you do it yourself so you never have to deal with this. We still need to figure out how to approach the damaged oil pan. Well, on top, it's not flush with the surface.
What?
Well, the insert's not. It's flush on the bottom, but not on top. That's the way it's set up. They might have inserted it part of the way, then cut it off. Yeah. Maybe
So
that's why it's short.
There's no flat sealing surface.
No.
So what you're saying is there's no way for it to seal.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. That's what it feels like. If you want to come, you can come down here after and check.
If that thing is sticking out and it's sharp, it's gonna cut any O-ring.
Look at your filter. Put a little bit of oil on the O-ring. Just get it in by hand. Get a good grip on it. A good twist. Just by hand strength, and then stop. If you have a normal drain plug, this is the part where you torque it down to 18 foot-pounds and then fill up 8 quarts in your engine. This is the 4.4 liter. And if you're in our situation, just have to wait and see. Now, some time has passed, about 2 minutes, and the rubber gasket from the bolt we were initially planning on putting on does actually fit on here, and it gives you a little gap between the threads and the edge, which should actually clear that insert that is problematic. So when you put this on, it should seal up, and then next time we do an oil change, we may tackle new threads or something like that. So just put this in, torque it down, and then we'll keep going. Looks like it's squished out around the. I'm gonna watch to see where we're at on torque. I'm at like 7. 8. Yeah, I'm at like 9.5. I mean, it looks like it's sealed. Well, it's really oily, so you know it's not getting much resistance. Okay, I guess that's might be it for now. I don't know. We spent a little more time considering our options and ended up going a slightly different route. We found a 2-stage drain bolt and a washer that would work with the uneven edge of the threads. We used Loctite on the main bolt so that we don't have to put any extra wear on the oil pan, and we can use a wrench to hold that in place when we remove the drain plug. We've kept an eye on it and haven't seen any leaks after multiple heat cycles. Alright, so with everything buttoned up, I put the engine cover back on, I put the under tray back on. This is when you would, before this, you would also put your side, bottom, and other side trays, or guards if you have them. And with your wheels on, you want to torque these to 140 Newton meters or 103 foot-pounds. Yeah, these are all new, solid, chromed lug nuts, so there's no cap to go bad. Your suspension will probably settle a bit and the wheels will skid out a little bit if you're using quick jacks or regular jacks, so just be aware of that. Last cover is going to go on as this, but we're going to put the battery on a charger just in case. And that's it, all the interior's back in. I'll have to put the grill end back on later, but we're going to clear the headlights first, so that's why it's not back on. With all that taken care of, I'm happy to say the truck passed its salvage inspection with no issues, so it's back on the road. The first thing we noticed, though, is that it felt like we were driving on 4 squares instead of tires. The truck was shaking like a paint mixer going down the road, so those new tires were completely out of round because of their extended stay in the Copart lot. $1,200 later, we have a nice set of Goodyear tires on it. Before we drive it anymore, we're going to service the differentials in the transfer case because we didn't have time to do that before the inspection, so stay tuned for that. If you're enjoying this series and want to see how much deeper the rabbit hole goes, or you want to find out how much money this truck has actually cost us, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.